In this episode, savor the ultimate Italian food experience. Explore new ways to pay for taxi rides. Check out seasonal flower arrangements that add charm to your home. Share stories about sustainable architecture in Hong Kong. And appreciate some famous Renaissance paintings.
The dining term omakase has to do with the concept of entrust and is predicated on a very special relationship between chef and guest. What that means is guests come to a restaurant and trust the chef to come up with the ingredients, cooking style, and ultimately what ends up on their plates. In recent years, restaurants from around the globe have taken inspiration from this dining tradition, and Italian chefs especially are well known for embracing this idea to exercise their full culinary creativity.
We do believe in fresh ingredients. We do believe in sustainability. So what I'm trying to offer to my guests is actually the choice of the best ingredients in season and with the techniques that we try to apply in the kitchen with my team.
Well, this dish was a surprise. I was having the salad, which was all about the fresh ingredients, just the raw taste in my mouth, and all of a sudden, my server brought me this second dish, which is actually part of the salad. And what it was the tartine is made with the same ingredients that was in the salad. So it's almost like there's an echo, a warm echo in your mouth along with the shrimp. So it was a really nice experience.
I believe what we are trying to do here is a bit something new. We are trying to offer to our guests basically daily different choice. I mean, you can come and find and eat every day for a year without having the same dish, because we really focus on specials. My supplier, my man out of the market, they sourcing out the best ingredients, and basically they are doing the market list for me. So they are telling me, chef, I believe today this is beautiful. You should get this. What you want me to send? So sometimes I also don't know what is arriving, but we can make sure that every day is something new. You don't get bored, for sure. Slightly different way to present, let's say, a common sea bass. First, we try to get a line-caught sea bass. So we are getting a fish, which is a predator, is usually arriving 4 or 5 kilo sea bass. So it's a huge fish. The flesh is juicy and very, very tasty. So we are gonna wrap the sea bass in seaweed and we're gonna grill it. And at the same time, the seaweed burning, gonna smoke a little bit the fish. And we season this fish with a very unique vinegar, which is a Ceres vinegar, aged for 25 years in sherry cask. So it's very aromatic. And together with the smoky, the vinegar, you get a very warm feeling, let's say. And I believe it's a very interesting dish, something that really worth to try this morning. The dessert we are presenting is something I come out with together with a good friend of mine, another chef, during a four-hand event we had in my previous experience. We are having yogurt, burrata cheese, fennel, white chocolate that match together in a single dish. So you are having this quite unique dessert with vegetable and cheese that is not quite common, but it's definitely very interesting.
What I love about this dining concept is chefs can be flexible with the produce around them, and it allows them the freedom to showcase their creativity. And this, I believe, speaks ultimately to a chef's mastery of his craft.
As technology evolves, we move away from cash payments further and further. The trend is most visible in public transport, as contactless smart cards and mobile payment apps are becoming increasingly ubiquitous. Recently, the global pandemic has even accelerated the shift from cash to digital options out of public safety concerns. That was quick, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Thank you so much. Oh no, I haven't got any small change. I only got 500.
Don't worry, I'm your lifesaver. Let me get this.
Can always count on you. Nowadays, you can even go cashless in taxis that have mobile payment service installed. Simply place your card at the NFC detection area of the driver's phone or the card reader provided, and you can quickly and easily pay the fare.
This past year, learning from home has become a big hit because suddenly we have a ton of time on our hands. So a lot of us learn a new skill, whether it's going to the kitchen to try a new recipe or doing our own fitness routines at home. But if you ask me, I think that this year, learning the art and beauty of floral design can be a fun thing. Hi Nita, so is there any particular type of flowers that is really popular for the winter season, or what do you think is the flower for 2021?
I would rather say it's the color of the year than the flower of the year. Because of the pandemic, we are all very stressed and we have many worries in all aspects. So colors that would make us feel warm, soothing and calm will be more popular this year, such as earth tone or colors of the nature. Also low saturation colors like muted pink and lilac will be popular too.
And how does winter floral design differ from other seasons?
There are two main focuses. One is winter is a festive season. We will use more vibrant colors, even metallic colors, to create a festive mood, but in a contemporary and stylish way. And the second thing is we would use more materials that can best represent winter, such as branches, dried foliage and flowers, dried seed pods and berries that are commonly seen in natural environment during winter time.
Flowers are an important part of a lot of occasions, whether it's a wedding, a graduation, a party, or just a get-well gesture. They can also transform a space or elevate your mood. But according to Anita and her partner Florence, the design and execution of the arrangement is important too. Now let's talk about your New Year's and Winter's floral designs. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Our design inspiration is always from our daily life. So I would summarize our design focuses for this year into a few aspects. One is about sustainability, from our selection of materials to our designs. We will consider more if the flower's life can be extended or if it can be repurposed. So like using branches, dry flowers and foliage to build structure and avoid using floral foam would be some good ways to achieve sustainability. Secondly, we would use more warm, soothing and therapeutic colors to calm our soul in our design. And last but not least, our design will be more about home because everyone now spends a lot of time at home. So a comfortable and warm living environment is very important. So we will emphasize more on floral designs for home.
Now, what are the principles and elements of floral design?
I think floral design is just like fashion and photography. We will need a very clear focus and theme. And then we will also need a nice color coordination and some movements and textures for visual interest.
And what have you learned in your career as a professional floral designer?
I think we've learned to express our emotions through our designs. Our friends and customers would always say they can tell which are our works at a glance. Yeah, they can see our originality, our creativity, and also our intricate work. That's what I mean by giving soul and personality to our creations. I think it's very important. Only in this way we can touch people's heart and let people see us, feel our emotions in our works.
At the end of the day, we just want to feel comfortable and relaxed. Flowers have the ability to relieve our stress and elevate our mood. A perfectly placed floral arrangement can spread positivity, an elegant aroma, and most importantly, they're beautiful.
After the break, talk with the creator of iconic architectures in Hong Kong and delve into art from the Renaissance period.
Hong Kong is considered one of the world's top architectural cities? Of course, we got to talk to Brian Liu. Brian has 20 years of experience in design, project administration, and business development. Some of the iconic architectures in Hong Kong are designed from him and his team. He's also a pioneer in sustainable architecture in Hong Kong. So let's sit down and have a chat with him and discover why Hong Kong has potential to go green. Why do you think sustainable architecture is important?
Because every building we do lasts for generations. And for a city, maybe 50, 60 years, in Europe, 300 years. So you have a very long-term impact to the city, and particularly for a city like Hong Kong, we're mostly service economy. So most of our carbon footprint, apart from transport, comes from buildings. So building sustainable building is actually making the city a more sustainable and then building a better environment for future generations.
Could you tell us more about your projects? How do you balance the idea of sustainability with keeping a modern touch to the C2 Center and the Zero Carbon Park?
I think to balance is actually quite important, but at the same time, it shouldn't really be about compromise. It's really about maximizing the performance of the building. When I say performance, it's obviously the environmental performance. I'll give you an example for C2 Center. What we did was the building itself, because it's a performance theater, it has no windows, so it's actually quite good because it wouldn't let any heat coming in. We lifted up the theater to the 6th floor, creating a public open space in the bottom. And that open space is sheltered, and then it has 4 holes on each corner, which allow natural ventilation. So having this great public space that is naturally ventilated, it's very good for the city and for a citizen to go there and hang out. And also, I think for the C2 Center, we have designed it so that its energy consumption is as low as possible and creating a much more efficient, energy-efficient building. As for Zero Carbon Park, we have 3 main objectives. I think the first one is about education. Secondly is to test out new technology. And third is to demonstrate that it's possible to create a zero carbon building. The zero carbon objective, it's really using a 50-year operation model to calculate how much carbon footprint it uses, and then the energy or the carbon footprint it takes for all the materials, and then putting it together. So we add it all up to be X amount, and then we calculate how the building can generate energy. So we sell it back to the grid, and by using a 50-year horizon, we hope to neutralize. So in the end, in 50 years' time, we'll be net zero. That's the objective we try to do. And obviously, we also have an education component where we bring students to teach them about sustainable design, what can be done. And the third is testing new technology.
So what are some of the difficulties that you encounter during these projects?
It's fortunate that very often we have a good vision. So the whole team works together to achieve this vision. But every project, when you try to do new things, there's a lot of hurdles, a lot of discussion on what is possible, what is not. And then breaking through those mindsets very often takes some time, but perseverance usually pays off, and very often with enough support in the community and with the leadership that we can jump through these hurdles. For the C2 project, it was a very tight schedule, and it was tough in that sense. Also, I think for the Zero Carbon Park, we had 18 months to complete the whole project. So it was a real rush, but everybody's super focused, super dedicated. We managed to sort of deliver in the end.
And race time.
It's always a race against time, and on such high-profile projects, a lot of focus on it. So a lot of pressure as well, but we managed to pull through. So I'm very happy.
In terms of material and design, how do you envision the future of sustainable architecture?
For sustainable design, I think material is important. Ability, when you choose a material, ideally from the local area would be best, because it minimizes the amount of embedded carbon used from transportation. And the other part, obviously, is how the process, how much energy you use to produce it. And thirdly, obviously, is try to use material that are rapidly growing or not sort of limited resources. So these are all important aspects to consider when you select a material. The more recyclable the material is, the lower the carbon embedment within the material is important. And then the process, how you make it, how much energy it takes to make it, is also something we need to be aware of. But I think most importantly, you build buildings that are flexible, that allow it to grow and change with society and with the economy. I think that's the most sustainable approach, because otherwise you build something, if it doesn't fit, you tear it down, rebuild again. I think that's the most wasteful process. So it's important that we build flexibility to have a longer term vision of how do we adopt old buildings into new buildings or the new functions. I think that's a more sustainable approach going in the future.
There's more to architecture than what meets the eye. Every building is actually a piece of artwork. And if you look closely, architecture can reflect a city's culture, its social status, as well as its future direction.
If there really was time travel, where would you like to go? Revisit the past or go to the future? It depends on your personal choice. But for me, I would like to revisit the vibrant era of the European Renaissance period. There's so much expressive artworks there. Today, let's go travel together in time. Hi, Amanda. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
What is the purpose of bringing over 40 precious artwork pieces all the way from Florence to Hong Kong?
This year is a very, very special year. It's actually the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between China and Italy. So the Uffizi galleries in Florence are actually worked with Hong Kong LCSD, which is our leisure and cultural service department, and they brought this amazing exhibition to Hong Kong to give the opportunity for Hong Kong people to appreciate all these amazing important artworks from the Renaissance period.
Would you say that Sandro Botticelli is a very important historical figure in pioneering art for the Renaissance?
Botticelli was, I think probably one of the most famous. What this whole exhibition is curated around, or the theme is, they focus more on the earlier periods of the Renaissance. So this time is really talking about the beginnings of from the Dark Ages. How did, this Renaissance
transformation.
Exactly, how did it come about? Botticelli was really a genius, not just, about his mastery in his paintbrush work, a use of colors, everything. It was also important to see how his role actually affected in terms of the society, or people's different perspective, how an artist even sees himself. He was really the one who put an artist as kind of a central figure, and how he had relationships with patrons and friendships even.
Can you pick one or two artwork pieces that you admire the most?
The Adoration of Magi by Botticelli, I think that's definitely one of my favorites, and I think it's also one of the most important pieces in the exhibition. Besides the religious, biblical story that the painting is depicting, it's almost a family portrait of the Medici family. So the Medici family were the patrons of Botticelli, and very, very important family, who really helped to support all the artists for the Renaissance to happen. And you can see this is the first time that people were putting actual real people into these religious paintings.
And Botticelli was in the...
Exactly, and Botticelli was on the right corner.
And he was looking at us. Is there another artwork piece that you like as well?
Yeah, there was a big tondo, which is a circular type of painting that was very much in fashion during the Renaissance period. So there's a massive tondo. Inside it was the Madonna and Child. What I really liked about it, or what I really appreciate about this painting, I mean, there's so many layers, but just the fact that it's a circular painting. I mean, you don't see that so often. Firstly, a lot of the rich, elite of Florence like to have these paintings made because actually even the frame, a circular frame, requires even more complex carpentry than a rectangular sort of frame. And also what was really showcased and highlights the mastery of Renaissance painters is what we're talking about is perspective, right? and actually is even harder to achieve that, 3D effect or like that perspective effect in a circular kind of format. So that just really was a testament to their skills.
Art recounts the stories of our past and makes us very optimistic about the future. So art really is a time machine for the past and the future.
And that's all the time we have for this week's episode. If you want to find out more about what we've introduced, remember to log on to our website. In the coming weeks, let's explore the path to a sweeter life. Join us to savor seasonal delights from around the globe. Check out ways to stay healthy and look gorgeous. Keep up with the latest trends in every aspect of life. And connect with inspiring people from different backgrounds. Be sure to tune in again next time to live your best life.